One thing is clear, the Ron Paul revolution is alive and well in America.
There's no sign that the momentum that grew around Ron Paul in the last campaign has shrunk. There's a lot of signs that it's grown. A CNN opinion poll, this is actually kind of staggering, from last week, actually showed when they matched up against Obama, all the Republican candidates, Ron Paul actually was doing the best of all of them against Obama. In a recent New Hampshire poll, he came in tied for second. It was a distant second to Mitt Romney, but tied for second.
A survey by Rasmussen Reports finds that President Obama has a 1 percentage point edge over Republican Texas Congressman Ron Paul in a hypothetical 2012 race.
They rallied the troops at a leadership conference that took place this weekend in New Orleans, where a straw poll gave us an early indication of potential GOP candidates in 2012.
Mitt Romney topped Ron Paul on the ballot by just 1 vote.
Congressman Paul won the CPAC straw poll by a landslide last week, taking 33% of the vote, with Governor Mitt Romney trailing at 22% of the vote. Governor Romney basically chose CPAC to launch his presidential bid, but it was Congressman Paul who won the hearts and the votes of those in attendance.
Well, there was a straw poll taken over the weekend. I don't know if you saw the results or not. On our screen for our viewers, Ron Paul was an overwhelming favorite. 40% of the vote, 612 total cast.
You engender great passion from your followers. You win a lot of those straw polls.
His campaign took on a life of its own on the web, surprised a lot of the pundits and experts.
I'm impressed that you dared to enter Ron Paul world. Good for you. What is this about? Who are his fans?
Oh, man, they're crazy. They're not just on the internet. They show up to see him speak. Like, I saw maybe, I don't know, 700 people show up for 300 seats out in Iowa. It's amazing.
Why?
I think it's the only thing I can get out of talking to people is that they see that there's something corrupt going on with the military-industrial complex, whether it's Blackwater or Halliburton, and he seems to be like the radical who wants to change it.
So it's not just
Plus,
about
he's
the
adorable.
war.
I think they like just that he seems like the guy from Network who's going to yell and tell Washington to go screw itself. I think he's just the radical.
You know, Congressman, your name comes up an awful lot when I talk politics with friends.
Good evening, Mike.
This seems like an inevitable marriage, as that very motivated section of the population that in large part has always agreed with Ron Paul's ideas has taken root with the American right.
And some people in the Tea Party are saying that you've sort of been going your own road, which I think you wear that badge proudly. But you've got this new movement that sort of runs parallel to some of the things that you have been saying for years in this country.
Ron Paul just might be the godfather of the Tea Party movement.
Congressman Ron Paul.
He's been a crusader for deep spending cuts since long before the Republican Party got into the act.
You know, just a few years back, like 1976.
At conservative events, Paul's supporters are often the loudest and most energized. He set a record in the 2008 campaign by raising more than $6.5 million online in a single day. That was his second run for president. He still parts ways with his party on foreign policy. He opposed President Bush's decision to invade Iraq.
New Hampshire Republican committee members held their first ever straw poll. It was sponsored by ABC News and WMUR. So it looks like a good day for Mitt Romney, Amy.
It sure was. He ended up in first place with 35% of the vote. In a very distant second was Representative Ron Paul with 11%.
4,800 votes, 4,823. So that's interesting. She got
in Congressman's Hall, it was almost a tie. It was 4,600 votes.
Wow.
For Ron Paul, Congressman Paul.
First of all, Michelle Bachmann won. That certainly cements her position as a serious player in this race. On the other hand, Ron Paul, with very little money, just a lot of organization, grassroots organization, came in only 200 votes behind her.
Ron Paul more than doubled the total of Tim Plenty.
Saturday was the Ames straw poll. Everyone was there except the ones who weren't. And Michelle Bachmann won it all. Her tent was by far the most popular. Now, some analysts say it's because of her strong support among evangelicals. Others posit it's because of her strong stance on the debt ceiling. But one insider had a different theory.
We have an air-conditioned tent. We've got chairs. We've got country legend superstar Randy Travis live. We're also going to have a petting zoo for the kids.
Yes, a petting zoo. Another factor might have been that Bachmann helped her supporters pay for the $30 voting tickets by paying for them.
There were long lines outside Bachmann. It could have been for the brisket. We don't know, for the barbecue. She has a lot of money to spread around. She's been handing out tickets.
There are reports that she's handed out more than 6,000 tickets.
That's right. Bachmann paid $180,000 to hand out 6,000 tickets. But it was worth it because she got 4,823 votes. Bachmann got a commanding 80% of the votes she paid for. That's pretty impressive.